Hey, it's your boy Eddy Kool here. And before we get started on this week's episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, myself, the Almighty Be Live, and the Money Man Scottie D, we want to tell all of our listeners, past, present, and future listeners, thank you. Thank you for your unwavering support. We know it's crazy out here with the coronavirus and the social issues and everything. Thank you for bearing with us, and thank you for allowing us to be your escape from this crazy world. I'm going to let you know right now, this episode is rated L for loaded with laughs. Yeah, I tried. I know it didn't come off as clever, but anyways, enjoy this episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Hey, what's going on, world? This be your boy Eddy Kool, aka the HOC, and guess what? This is episode number 69 of the Sports Bros Podcast. It's like the third time we had to restart it due to technical difficulties, but guess what? Eighth time's the charm, or something like that, fellas.
Yeah.
Eighth time's the charm.
That might do it. That might put it together,
Yeah, that just might do it. Oh, and that voice you hear, he's back with us this week, the Almighty Be Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? That is always such a loaded question. But you know what? The world cannot stop your boy from being with the bros of the sports nation. Yes, sir. Let's get it.
The boys and the bros. And as always, the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, and the other half of the smash hit song, It Never Rains in Western Pennsylvania. The Money Man, Scottie D.
It never rains in Western Pennsylvania because it still hasn't. Been singing that since last week's episode. Still no rain. I'm drying out here, Eddy Kool. But you know what? Last week's episode, I tip my cap to you, Eddie. The two of us had the best episode ever.
Wow.
Podcast history.
Now, so you notice how I didn't come with the normal trash talk, and so that you take this opportunity, as you said, is Brucey's time to shine? You gonna talk trash before the episode gets started? Okay, all right. Well,
it really was a great episode. I'm sorry you weren't part of it last week. That's okay. This week you'll only enhance it. We can hope to do better, but it'll be really tough to top last week. That's it's just just the way it went. All right, let's talk some sports, guys. There's actually some more sports to talk about this week.
Yes, we actually have more sports to talk about this week, and leading right off, we're going to talk about Major League Baseball. The season started with Scottie D's New York Yankees against the Washington Nationals. It was a pretty decent game until the rain that missed Western Pennsylvania made its way to the belt line in Washington, D.C., and had the dugouts flooded, and everybody had to run, scatter, scram. And then we had the Dodgers and the Giants. Dodgers won. I'm not going to lie, I fell asleep. This weekend's action was pretty good. And then there was Monday, which involved the Miami Marlins as 12. That's right, 12 tested positive for that nasty, stanky, funky COVID-19 virus. Fellas, a good start to the season, and then this happens. And to quote someone that was near and dear to my heart, I'm giving that person entirely too much credit. I knew this was going to happen, but I just didn't know when. Scottie D, what you think about everything that's going on, including this here?
Oh man, this is bad. This is bad on a lot of levels because this is the nightmare the baseball was hoping they wouldn't be facing, and here it is right off the bat. The first weekend. What's going to be really interesting is, we knew that teams had a chance, a good chance that if they got a player or two that would get it, that it would spread throughout the team. It's going to be interesting to see in the next day or two. Keep in mind, everyone, we're recording this Monday evening, so you might already have this information by the time you listen to it, but it's going to be interesting to see if anybody from the Philadelphia Phillies tests positive, because their game with the Yankees has been postponed, as the Marlins game with the Orioles was postponed. So that's going to be interesting to see, because, all these teams are responsible for their own protocols, trying to keep their players from getting sick. And the real nightmare is, our team's going to be spreading it from one team to the next. And I tell you, if it turns out that 4 or 5 Phillies players have contracted it, that bodes that does not bode well for not only the future of baseball this season, but extremely bad for football, because that's a game that is going to be a lot more contact. They're not playing in the bubble. NBA is looking pretty good, I think, for the most part. We'll get to some of that stuff here in a minute, but because they're isolating the majority of their players, that's not happening in Major League Baseball, or doesn't appear to be the plan for the NFL. But if this thing spreads over to the other teams, that's a big problem.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those things where the response to this is actually bigger than what's going on. Like, it's one of those things where we all knew. Everybody knows that they're going to face it in some shape or form. It's going to happen in every league. I can tell you right now, it's going to happen in every league that they've tried to restart. Somebody's going to catch it. It's what the response is going to be that's the kicker. And Scottie D, you hit the nail on the head when you said if somebody from the Phillies contracted, you could see where they could shut the whole thing back down all over again.
Yeah, definitely. And with baseball, they have it set up that with this season, the expanded protocols, you get like 30 guys on a taxi squad. So conceivably, you get a dozen players from the Marlins that are going to have COVID-19 and have to isolate for 14 days. You can get another dozen guys ready to play. Now, granted, that's not ideal because they're not your top players, but the game can still be played. NFL is going to be that's going to be a lot harder to do something like that, because you're taking up, 2 whole games of your season. That's going to be a bigger chunk of your season because, you have less games in the NFL. Already with NFL, you have a higher risk of injuries with all the contact and everything. I just seeing this already off the bat within 3 days makes me think football is going to be a really bad idea. And I don't even know how baseball is going to continue on, because this isn't going to happen just this one time and we're going to get through it. This is going to happen multiple times. Are they going to play double headers? They only have 1 day from the end of the regular season until, 1 day break, because they added the expanded playoffs this past week, as we saw Major League decide to go 8 teams on both sides. And so that playoff format's going to start right after the season. They don't have a lot of wiggle room. I heard Tim Kirkjian even suggested maybe they don't play all 60 games, that it's going to be a kind of thing where it's the best winning percentage gets into the playoff slots. I don't know. This is a mess already. I really hope that the Phillies guys don't test positive for this. I hope this all works out and baseball can continue on. But man, it puts a damper on what was really a fun, exciting weekend for me anyway. I mean, how about you guys? It was nice to watch baseball this weekend, right?
Oh, it was, man. It was great to see the Braves destroy the New York Mets last night, and then, and then other games of interest as well too. You had the Indians, doing their thing against Kansas City, and you had a lot going on, man. Even your Buccos, Scottie D, they got a win, a W. They got one of those too.
They did.
A Clint Hurdleless win is better than no win at all, correct?
Oh, yeah, we'll take it. Let me ask you guys this, though. I mean, getting away from the virus and actually what we saw, Thursday through Sunday, how did you feel about, were you able to see any of the stuff where the rule changes impacted the game? Did you see any? Did you guys, how did you feel about that? Let me just ask you that, B-Live. What did you think?
Well, I didn't get to see it firsthand. I heard about it and I read about it, but the Braves were actually the recipient of one of the rule changes, actually on both sides. Because day one, the Friday game, the Friday game ended up being 1-0. Guess who got the one score? It was a home run by the designated hitter on the Mets. So that was the first ever home run by a designated hitter with both teams being National League teams. So that's history right there. That sucks, but it is history. That's part of the rule change. And then game 2 on Saturday, where the Braves were down, and with a 3-2 count with 2 outs in the ninth, bing, Marcell Ozuna comes through as a designated hitter, ties up the game, and then we go into the 10th inning where now you have a player on second base to start the game off, and the first hit, leadoff single, scores the run. So we got to see a lot of the rule changes just between the Braves and the Mets, and then Game 3. Oh man, the Bravos just destroyed the Mets, and that's the Braves team that I'm used to seeing, and they're dangerous. It's going to be a beautiful thing. But yeah, I think it's made the game a lot more exciting. I'm definitely for it. So yeah, I like the DH. I like the runner on second.
I can live with the DH. I know things progress, and baseball is a traditional sport. A lot of people were resistant to the instant replay. I was for that. I don't hate the idea of a DH in both leagues. I absolutely hate the rule of a pitcher having to pitch to three bats out of the bullpen or inning. You don't have to pitch all three if you get the last out of an inning. You don't have to come back out the next inning. But I wasn't in favor of that. I haven't seen much really that affects that. But I don't like the idea that if you're a pitcher or managing a pitcher and you pull him to bring in a reliever, the other team can then counter by making a pinch hit, bringing in a lefty righty advantage, but then you can't do anything about it. You leave your guy in there. I don't think that. I don't like that rule. I really, really do not like the runner on second kind of thing. That I hope that's something that they'll only do this year. It's a different kind of year, so let's play around with it. I get it. I don't like how you don't have to earn having a runner in scoring position when you go into extra innings. The only other really sport I can equate that to is maybe the overtime rule in college football, where both teams are given the ball already in scoring position. But I'm not a fan. I want to see you earn your way on. I know it sucks sometimes when you go into these 15, 16, 17 inning games, but I don't like having a runner put on second base when you didn't get a hit. I think one of the teams this weekend had no official at bats. Maybe the Royals or A's game. You had a guy put on second base, a bunt to third, and a sac fly, and no official at bats, and that's how you win the game. I don't know. I'm not into that.
Yeah, I personally, to be honest with you, I've always been like, the National League needs to go ahead and get a designated hitter, because we don't want to see no pitcher trying to hit no baseball, unless it's Bartolo Colon, but he ain't playing no more.
Yeah.
But I ain't nobody got time to see no struggling, scrawny pitcher who's thrown for most of the game with a noodle arm trying to swing a bat and hit the ball. No. And then he can't run the bases. He got to put a coat on or get a pitch. Yeah. So.
Bye.
Yeah. So we knew this was long overdue, a long time ago. Why did they not do this 5, 10, maybe 15 years ago? I don't know. That's beyond me to think about. Who wants to see Clayton Kershaw, the postseason bum? Yeah, I said it. You remember I said it be live when I was in California. He's a bum. He's a bum. He's a bum. Yeah, Who wants to see Clayton Kershaw try to swing at a 90-mile-an-hour fastball? Really?
It's one of those things where it should be even across the board, because at the end of the day, when it comes to the World Series, your AL team is going to have a decided advantage because their designated hitter is used to being a designated hitter. In the National League, they're like, you suck at fielding, so that's why we put you on the bench. But you might be able to give me a hit. So let's put you in the most important series of your life. Let me get you off the bench and let me try you out. I know we have some interleague games and they have a little bit of experience, but nah. It's just I think it's time, and I'm all for it. But yeah. I see where Scottie D doesn't like the person on second base, but then again, we gotta understand Scott's a very old man.
Wow.
I
So he's ornery, he's grouchy at times. So I mean, I get it.
Well,
He's just he's one.
I hate the most of all of it. See, I don't think that rule is going to stick. I really think that one's going to be one that's going to fall by the wayside when we get back to a normal season. But the relief pitcher thing, that I understand what Major League Baseball is trying to do. They're trying to speed the game up. Last year in 2019, the average time of a Major League game was 3 hours and 5 minutes. The year before that, it was 3 hours almost exactly. So the rate went up. It actually had come down because they started doing the mound visit rule a couple years ago, and they started doing the intentional walk. You don't have to throw a pitch. That saves basically no time. That's a nothing burger there. But what's the difference of a game that average time is 3 hours, 3 hours and 5 minutes? If you're watching baseball and you're a fan, you don't really mind it. I don't think. Not people who aren't hardcore baseball fans aren't going to go, huh? You know what? The average time of games come down 5 or 6 minutes this year. I'm going to start watching again. What? Is that a thing? I mean, if you want to shorten the game, shorten commercial breaks between innings. They'll never do that because that's revenue coming in. But I don't like when you're messing the integrity of the game for the sake of speeding it up 5 minutes. I mean, I don't like it. I think they're starting to tinker too much with the rules. Plus, when you add replay, you're going to add a little bit. Now, replay has, from what I've seen the last couple of seasons, been done very quickly. I very, very rarely have I seen the umpires go and put the headsets on and stand there for long periods of time. Usually, because I think they go to the central umpiring system, whatever, and I think it's in New York, where they're already watching the games, they're already looking at the replays before it gets challenged. That's not really killing the game, I don't think, time wise. I think they've done a very good job with that. But I just, as a baseball fan, if I'm sitting at a baseball game, I don't mind if I'm sitting there 3 hours and 5 minutes as opposed to 3 hours, or even 2 hours and 55. Come on, guys. I mean, let's let baseball be a little bit. I know you got to change with the times, but good night. I mean,
as far as I'm concerned, we've been without live sports for damn near 3 months. I'll take this extra long ass baseball game. I sure will. I'll take it.
I agree with you. I do. I gotta poke the bear from time to time, but yeah, like I understand what they're trying to do. I don't get that whole relief pitcher 3 batters situation. I don't understand that at all. But I let some things just let it be, let it ride on. Just like we've all been saying. Thank you for live sports, and baseball season is here. My Braves looking good. Life is just a little bit better because of this.
Yep. Scottie D,
what was cool? I'm sorry, Eddie, but as a good moment that I saw over the weekend. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but G-Man Choi from the Tampa Bay Rays decided to be a switch hitter this year, and then on Sunday against the Blue Jays, he batted right-handed for the first time and homered on, I believe it was the first pitch. His first time batting right-handed. I mean, what a kind of weird thing. I mean, most guys are trained as DH or as a switch hitters rather as they're growing up, and this guy decides to be a switch hitter in the middle of his career and homer. It's a home run right-handed instead of he's a noted left-handed hitter. I thought that was kind of cool. ESPN kind of made a big deal about it, and I could see why I thought that was kind of cool. But I'm sorry, Eddie, what were you going to say?
Oh, nothing. I would say we got to see the broadcast debut of Chipper Jones, aka Larry Wayne Jones, who was teased by his Hall of Fame teammate John Smoltz on what to do and what not to do when it comes to calling these games, and that was a very funny moment. I was thinking, as far as the speed of the game, I'm like, hey, won't you just go ahead and when you do the commercials, just like when they're switching out between offense and defense, just do a split screen.
Yeah.
Do a split screen. That way, you got the action, constantly rolling, constantly going. Because I think, AEW and the WWE, professional wrestling in general, that's a big deal. Yes, you get your ad revenue money, but instead of losing that, those 3,000, 4,000 viewers that have turned the TV, because as well as I do, don't nobody like commercials like they used to. They don't give a damn. But if like we know, like the sports bros know, that's a source of money. and that's what's important. So
That's not a bad idea. I mean, the PGA is doing that too now. I don't know if you watch some of these golf events they call playing through, and they'll show commercial and give you the small split screen. So I just don't like to mess with the integrity of baseball too much. That's all.
yeah, well, I mean, dealing with rain delays and coronavirus. Oh yeah, the series that got canceled. The Phillies and the Yankees and the Marlins and the Orioles. So both of those have been PPD'd until further notice. That goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, wear a mask. If you got to go out the house, be safe, be cool. Wash your hands, feet, face, and your backside. Take care of yourself because yeah, just because it's summertime, that don't mean this coronavirus is gone. It ain't not at all. Numbers are going up every day. Just make sure, just take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Speaking of take care of yourself, ain't that what Lou Williams did?
Oh, boy. Come on, bro.
Come on,
Lou, what are you doing?
Yep. In case you've been under a rock these past 24 hours, Lou Williams apparently left the bubble, went to Atlanta to go to a gentleman's establishment to get some lemon pepper chicken wings. So, thoughts, fellas?
So see what I'm not necessarily mad at the man for doing what he did. He wanted some snacks. I'm just saying, he probably saw a little something while he was getting his snacks. But his friend has got to be the biggest dummy known to man. Why is you taking selfies and Instagramming stuff? Put the phone down.
I've never heard of this guy, but evidently he's a rapper, a white rapper.
And just the amount of dumbness that I happened to read in this article was the fact that not only when he got caught because of the Instagram post, he then tried to cover it up by saying that it was an old picture and I just miss my dude. Even though the picture was him wearing a mask from the Orlando bubble. I'm over here like, man, I'm about to pull up this man's name and I want his record label to dump him because he ain't the brightest ever to do anything. The rapper's name is Jack Harlow. And so let me read this real quick. The league announced Williams' quarantine on Sunday, 3 days after Williams was photographed by the rapper Jack Harlow at an Atlanta strip club. Harlow quickly deleted the post from his Instagram story and tweeted Friday, "That was an old pic of me and Lou. I was just reminiscing cuz I miss him." Cuz spelled C-U-Z. In the photograph, Williams is holding a drink and wearing an NBA mask given out of the Orlando campus. This got to be the dope. Penalty box, anyone?
They're about dumb.
Yeah. You got to go in that penalty box because coronavirus is real. I mean, I don't know if he watches the news, if he hadn't heard about this whole Marlins situation and what happened. Like something happened in Major League Lacrosse where they had to just cancel out two teams and go from the semifinals straight to the finals. You know what I'm saying? Due to fact, this thing real. Now, I'm on the website of Magic City, the premier Atlanta adult gentleman's establishment, and I'm trying to see what the hype is about all these wings here because I lived in Atlanta and I've never had a chance to indulge in the chicken wings. So here we go. They have a vegetarian menu. If you want a Beyond Burger, it is $13. A black bean burger, also $13. A cheese quesadilla, $10, and good old mozzarella sticks, vegan, $5. So they also have chicken and waffles for $15. Peyton chicken potato for $15. The Big Boy Burger for $15, and of course the Louwill Lemon Pepper barbecue wings. Yes, Yes, I am not making this up. I am looking dead at the. I will show
So
you
he's
guys the link later.
a regular.
Huh?
So he's a regular, obviously.
You gotta be a regular. They naming food after you.
They named the food after you. You're there a lot.
They really did name the wings after him.
Louwill Lemon Pepper Barbecue. You know what? I'm going to save this photo and post it on our Facebook like page, so the listeners can see this. Because see, sometimes you need a visual aid. Be Live. I'm the head of creative. I'm pretty damn creative, but this I cannot make this up.
Because I was gonna make her funny. I'm like, did you pulled up the strip club website on the air? Like,
yes, I did.
All right, so,
I had. Be Live. I had to.
So we're gonna make sure when we publish this, does this mean that we have to put explicit content on the cover?
No, I'm just talking about the menu at the Magic City Kitchen. If you over the age of 21, come on down and get you some of these Louwill Lemon Pepper Barbecue wings. Shannon Sharp said it best. You thought he was going for the chicken. You know who he's going over there for.
Legs.
Yeah, plenty of legs.
Breast and thighs.
Breast and thighs.
A whole 12 piece.
So Lou Williams, listen, he left the bubble for a funeral. I don't know if it was his grandfather or it doesn't matter. Family's family, whether you're blood or not. He had a legit reason to leave. Okay, fine. Then he says, I go there all the time, ask anybody. That's my favorite place to go. Obviously, it must be because he's got food named after him on the menu. But the problem I have with it is the fact that the rest of the NBA is huddled up in this bubble. They're not doing anything. They're staying put. He's exploiting this time, I think, if you ask me, that he takes time out and goes to a funeral. At that point, let's go back. Now, if you got to go get something to eat, go to Subway, man. Do something low key, drive through Jack in the Box or Popeyes. Don't go to a strip club, high profile. It's a bad look. I don't care if you go there all the time during the regular time. This is not regular time. You got a guy in the NBA, Karl Anthony Towns, whose mother and father both contracted this virus, and his mother didn't survive. She passed away from this virus back in March. Don't you think it's kind of a slap in the face to these other guys who are trying their best to avoid that kind of thing happening to them and their families by not going anywhere? They're staying in these guys are going to hate being there. They may be okay with it now, but over a period of time, they're going to hate being there. And for him to be out, granted, it wasn't him doing it. It was the rapper doing it, but posting photos while he's in the club with the boobies and the wings. That's a bad look to me. And, he'll quarantine 10 days and it'll be fine and it'll all go back to normal. But I think right now that's a knucklehead thing to do, if you ask me.
High level knucklehead activities. Finally, Roger Goodell gets some company. But
I don't like it. I just don't like it, Lou.
All right, fellas. But go ahead, Be Live.
I had to look it up. Lou
had to. Yeah, I told you.
And Eddy Kool, to get to the menu, you have to go through the home page, and the home page is just got everything jiggling. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Click menus, help, do something. But
I mean, you can't be proud of that. I mean, you go somewhere and you order a turkey burger all the time. They name the turkey burger after you, but this is a strip club. You're there that much, you have to name food after you. You can't be proud of that.
I heard the food is good, man. I heard food.
I heard that too. I also heard Kendrick Perkins on TV say, do better. And I liked hearing him saying that because that's what I say to Lou. I'll do better. I mean,
hold up. No, I'm sorry. I kept going because I wanted to see, because it's an
you. You kept going. You got distracted.
All right, I'm going to check his website out.
But no, because it has an online ordering and thing. I'm like, why didn't he just order it online and grab it to go? He had a purpose and a reason. He went in there, got photographed with a drink in his hand. Just next level tomfoolery. And then on top of that, they got a bottle of Crown Royal Apple for $250. I'm going to the liquor store and getting it for $34.95. Why? Why?
You know
Oh,
what? Lou Williams did two things. He went in and got full twice. He got his eyes full and his belly full. But the rest of us, we like sports. And so, fellas, what we think about the whole look as far as the scrimmages and everything go, like the design of the courts and all that? What you think about that?
I was telling you guys earlier, it gave me that old school rec feeling, like where you don't have the stands, it's just wall baskets, and you just hear the screeching of the shoes, the sneakers, and the bounce of the ball and the swish of the net. So I like that feel of the game and everything. And it was just a scrimmage and everything. Of course, I'm going to factor in a little bit of crowd noise and stuff like that in there. I didn't get to hear much of it. I was at work majority of the time. But I do believe Friday is opening day for NBA.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to have sound on for that. And at Max Speed Shop, y'all know where I'm at by now.
99 episodes in, you should know.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to have the sound on. I definitely want to see how it impacts the feel of the game. I've had sound on for baseball, and I enjoy it. I'm not enjoying this game right now because Tampa Bay, they got Fulton Nevitz out the game. Thank you. But he done left a mess. Come on, Tucson. I'm sorry, I digress again.
Let me make sure I got a dump button on deck because at any moment you're gonna pull a Scottie D that time when Mike McCarthy got hired.
Hey, you know what? I haven't really watched the preseason other than just a few seconds here and there. I'm looking forward to see what the finished product looks like. Even more than that, I can't wait to have Doris Burke back in my life.
Oh dear God.
Oh, I knew something.
Nothing better than Doris Burke. I mean, you just gotta love Doris.
Love lift us up where we belong. We know you love some Auntie Doris, Scottie D. I understand.
Yeah, actually, she's been like the one thing I have not missed during sports, but I digress.
All right. So, anyways,
I'm looking
Yep, I'm looking forward to it too. So we got Bol, the son of Manute Bol, if I'm not mistaken. He had a good showing, and LeBron, he had gray hairs and everything else, but he had a good showing too. And then of course we had James Harden taking 1 step, 2 step, 3 step.
Oh Lord, no.
4 step, 5 step, and made a layup.
Oh, I gotta find that, and then that's gotta happen. But man, yeah, I saw a brief snippet of it, but I'm excited. Just one thing that I'm thankful for, and even though in the midst of all this, it's just wow. Oh my dear God, it's a wild pitch. I'm turning the TV off. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to record because Tampa Bay is now up 9-1 against Atlanta.
What inning?
I turned the TV off. I turned it clean off. You can edit this any way you want to.
Yeah, I'll edit it. God.
But one thing I also want to do sometime in the near future is actually have us three watch a game or whatever, and have us be like the broadcast team, and to do a recording like that. Just a test of our capabilities. But yeah, I'm actually excited just to see how we are adapting, because you see the active effort that these major sporting leagues and everything they're trying their best to bring back a product that the fans can watch, trying to keep the revenue stream going, because this does have a lot of lasting effects, i.e. the XFL not making it after one season because of COVID-19, not because of bad business practices like Scottie D likes to always say, but yeah, I said it. Yeah, I'm not letting that go either. But it's one of those things that they're trying, and it's one of those things where this is crippling in a lot of different ways, and so I'm actually excited to see the adaptability of all the sporting leagues. Just side note, NHL had 0 reports of COVID-19 for an entire week. So they're doing something right in Canada. Let's try to do what they're doing in Canada. But yeah, that's how I feel about sports right now. I'm excited, hopeful, and just really this to be part of the rebuilding process for us all.
Yep, it'll be part of rebuilding. Yeah, I am just ready, fellas. I am so ready for some basketball. I need something else to watch. I mean, baseball, like I said, as we all agreed, the PGA, golf, and UFC has gotten us through everything. And then Scott, how about the guy that was it Tuesday night? We watched boxing and the guy got knocked out in like 98 seconds.
Yeah. Edgar Berlanga knocked the guy out for his 14th straight first round knockout.
Goldberg. Yeah. He's got an undefeated streak. All right, and while we're on the topic of boxing, there's going to be a fight going on September the 12th. No, not involving Canelo Alvarez or Anthony Joshua or Ruiz even. Not even Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao. If 2020 couldn't get any more crazier, on September the 12th, 2020, we gonna see a fight between 54 years old Mike Tyson and 51 years old Roy Jones Jr. Fellas, we gonna see some two legendary heavyweight boxers, greats in their era, slug it out in an 8-round exhibition. What the hell is going on?
I don't know. I'll watch it if it's free.
Yeah, if it's free, I'll watch it. Be live. What you think?
I want to issue an apology to my fellow bro Scottie D, because at first I was excited about this fight, and Scottie D was being his normal self, being just grumpy, and he didn't like it.
Right.
Well, I'm going to apologize because after seeing little sparring exercise with Roy Jones Jr., I seen a video of that. Oh, dear sweet mother of God, what the hell am I about to watch? Just if this wasn't the slowest. Not only does Roy Jones Jr. look out of shape, he looks exactly his age. And I'm 38 and I look 55. I get it. I got the gray in the belly. I wear an A cup. I get it. But maybe just Mike Tyson looks in shape. Roy Jones does not. I got excited over a little speed punching bag that Roy Jones was doing, and then I saw him actually trying to spar and train and everything. I'll watch it if it's free.
Yeah, and even that's not gonna make it better. This is gonna be sad because they're not really fighting; they're sparring. I mean, how fun can that be? I mean, it sucks. It's like watching batting practice. This is like watching Barry Bonds go to batting practice, because Barry Bonds just turned 56 last week or 57 last week. This is going to suck. I just don't have a whole lot of interest in this. It's another way for these guys to cash in on their name to make a few bucks. Good for them. I can't see it being that interesting or even as a spectacle. I remember a few years back, Tyson already did something like this where he was sparring, had 3-round sparring sessions, I think in Vegas or some. I don't know. To me, this is going to be sad. I think I'm really not looking forward to this.
All right. So when was Mike Tyson's last fight? 2005.
It had been somewhere in that area, yeah.
2005, and I think Roy Jones' last fight was like in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. It was very recent. Oh, guess what? Also, allegedly, reportedly, The Athletic, according to ESPN, reported that former NBA player Nate Robinson and YouTube star Jake Paul agreed to fight on the undercard of this fight. So,
you just add to my bad. That there's that dump button.
I knew it.
What? Why? Oh, it's getting worse. It was okay. Let me see if I can clarify this. I'm 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 somewhat excited just because of the namesake. I mean, who two of the most entertaining boxers in history. Just, I mean, why did this fight not happen 20 years ago?
Well,
Yeah.
it would have been terrible 20 years ago in both their primes. Well, because Mike Tyson's as a natural heavyweight and Roy Jones Jr. is not. He stepped up to heavyweight one time and fought, I think it was John Ruiz, and he shouldn't have been fighting in that weight class. It actually messed his career up because then when he went tried to go back down, he was never the same. But this is not going to be good, and I don't think it ever would have been good. To be tough.
Understandably so with the different weight classes, but yeah, Roy Jones Jr. looks like a heavyweight right now, so that's not a good sign to start with.
Good. That's not good.
With body head and Swisher House, you know we ain't tripping. Our two-piece dudes for a living and they ain't talk about chicken. That's that Roy Jones verse.
Right.
Yeah, like B-Live said, he been two-piecing and he ain't talking about chicken, and he probably been two-piecing coleslaw, tater salad, and a biscuit. I don't know what the hell to make of this. To our listeners out there, we don't know. I thought it was an interesting topic to talk about. Was I right? Yes. Was I wrong? No. It's just we shall see. I'm trying to find what outlet's going to be on. It might be on free TV. No one said where in the heck. Matter of fact, hold on. The broadcast will be broadcast on pay-per-view as well as multimedia platform Triller.
Yep.
Okay, it's going to be on pay-per-view and Triller. I wonder how much this fight is going to cost.
It's not
because I just didn't buy ESPN just to have it. I mean,
no.
ESPN Plus to have it. Like, come on.
No.
It's going to cost too much. $99. That's
yeah. It's going to be free for me because I'm not going to pay to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to find that. We're gonna have to find that plug. Hey man, you got to. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that link. That
I would rather watch Edgar Berlanga, 23-year-old boxer, has 14 consecutive first round knockouts. Eddy Kool. Now that's what you want to see. He's going for the record's 21 first round knockouts. That's what he's going for. We might see this guy again next month because he only fought 1 minute and 2 seconds last Tuesday.
He didn't even break a sweat.
No. He had to do push-ups after just to get his blood flowing. When the fight was over, he said he didn't throw enough left to the body, and he didn't get to use all of his arsenal. He didn't even want to knock guys out in the first round. He wants to fight longer, and so he had to do push-ups. But that's who you want to watch fight. Edgar Berlanga. Remember that name, guys. Tyson.
Remember the name, y'all. Edgar Berlanga.
Yeah, this is not going to be good.
Yep. Well, I know it is going to be good. The choices of the voices.
Yes.
Hey, yo, button. Hit it.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Thank you once again to the wonderful and lovely Miss Button for introducing our favorite portion of the show. You heard the woman 69 episodes in the game, a famous number 69, Jared Allen. Yeehaw! This is Choices of the Voices. She ain't lying. She is telling the absolute truth. TROOF. Truth. Right, B-Live? The truth.
Yes.
All right. With that being said, Scottie D, what's this week's question of the choices of the voices?
All right. Of the 3 veteran quarterbacks I'm about to mention, which has the most to prove in the upcoming 2020 NFL season, assuming there is going to be one? And those 3 quarterbacks are Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. And we had quite a few responses this week.
I mean, we got quite a few responses. This is one of the better ones here. All right, Big Kenny DeWitt, he said Cam because of the way his last year ended. Yep, the way they got him out of Carolina with the quickness. Yep, he's really going to have a challenge. Joe Gafkin, what's up, Joe? Joe's back again. He said Cam Newton. It's a shame how his situation has played out, but Cam is hungry, and I hope he gets the opportunity in New England to shine. Hail to the potatoes. He's a Washington WTF fan. Yeah, the Washington WTFs. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Quinn Evans, what's up, Quinn? Quinn said Brady. Word on the street, he has a weak arm and was only successful because of the coach. Different, lot of talent around him. If he is good, if he is just good, it's over. Cam just has to show he's good in New England. Look for replacement a few times and still picked up Cam. So Aaron Rodgers, he'll be okay. All right. So he said, Cam, that's another one for Cam. Craig Burns says Tom Brady, never heard of him, and gave us a picture of Jared Stidham. Yeah. Good old Craig Burns. Joe Comfort, one of the best names in the history of the world, Craig. He says, for as much as he's accomplished, I think Brady has the most to prove. Being in a new system with a new coach presents challenges, and if he slips off, there'll be the expected label of system quarterback. Okay, interesting. Uncle Max, he said, I think Cam, well, being younger than Rodgers and Brady, he has more to prove. He will be with the best head coach in the league, and I believe he has the opportunity to learn a great deal more than he did at Carolina. Belichick and Newton could very well be the next dynamic duo in pro football. Oh, I like that.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, all right. So Carrie Lockman, she said Aaron Rodgers. He's got someone waiting for his shoes. Unlike Tom Brady and Cam Newton, who are taken by new teams, Rodgers looks like he's getting replaced in front of his eyes. Yep, Jordan Love. That's right. They did draft Jordan Love. Jeffrey Stevenson, he said one word, Cam. All right. Monique Adams, she said Cam, this is his year to prove to everyone who looked past him that he can hold his own no matter what team jersey he has on. Anthony Butler said Cam all day. Brady can go 0 for 16 and he's still to go. Rodgers can do the same and you're still not benching him for a rookie. Not at least this year. Cam feels disrespected, as he should. There's no reason New England should have been able to sign him to that Dollar General contract instead of someone actually paying a former MVP. Oh, that was a great one. A Dollar General contract. Got to use that one. Scottie D, I think I missed a few. Who did I miss?
Get a Trey Duke in there?
Do we got a Trey Dizzle? No, I don't have Trey Dizzle. I don't have him.
Trey says since Cam's never been good, he doesn't have anything to prove. Aaron Rodgers already proven he can play and has every single season, regardless of how good his team. So he doesn't have to prove anything. And Brady has never played without Belichick, so he has the most to prove. So he goes with Brady. Michael Cannoli, as I say that right? Cannoli. He had same thing. Brady, he has to prove he can do Belichick. Tony Bella says Cam. He said out of all these quarterbacks, he's done the least. Rodgers is more consistent. And then Matty Ice says they all have something to prove. So he asks who has the most to gain. And he says that is clearly Cam Newton because he's playing for pride, ego, and a new contract. So it seemed like Cam was the one that came out with the most votes here, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, Cam is the one. Cam is the one without the ring. He's the one with the trip, but without the ring. So shout out to Mike, Tony, Trey Dizzle, Anthony, Monique, Jeffrey, Carrie, Uncle Max, Joe Comfort, the best name in the business, Craig Burns, Quinn, Joe Gafkin, and Kenny for their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. Guys, the reason why I had Scottie D read the other portion of the Choices of the Voices because somehow, some way, they get split up in like 11 different posts, and I'm human and I forget. But that's why I got two of the world's greatest co-hosts to help me out with the Choices of the Voices. All right, Scottie D, out of the three, who did you pick?
During the course of the week since I asked that question, I picked all three on a different day. And basically for the reasons that most people have said, Brady having to prove himself without Belichick, although I end up falling on the opinion that when you have 6 Super Bowl rings, you have nothing to prove. I think he was the driving force of the Patriots more than Belichick. That's my opinion on that one. And Cam, I think, has a lot to prove because of the injuries. He was a former MVP. He also got to a Super Bowl, didn't win one, but he got there. And, it's hard to say anything negative really overall about his career. But now with the new chapter, I can see he has a lot to prove being in the shadow of Tom Brady. But I ended up going with Aaron Rodgers, which was the least picked. And that's because Aaron Rodgers, when you always hear people say he's among the best. I mean, he's always considered like top of the food chain when it comes to quarterbacks. Yet at this point in his career, he only has 1 Super Bowl win, and he's 36. Um, he hasn't really been at the MVP level since 2016. And listen to this. He's been a starter since 2008. His passer rating in 2019 was 95.4. That's the third lowest of his career. His completion percentage was 62%. That is the second lowest of his career. And as one of our listeners mentioned, his replacement might very well be there on the team. They drafted Jordan Love. He's obviously not going to be pushing Aaron Rodgers as the starter anytime soon. Not this year, most likely not next year. But Aaron Rodgers, he had his contract extension through 2023. Going into the 2022 season, they would save $17 million on the cap. That's the lowest cap hit of the, and he'll be 38 at that point. I think he needs to take that next step. He was at the championship last year. I thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl. They did not. And I think Rodgers, with a second-year head coach now, because he didn't quite get over the hump last year, if he doesn't prove it this year coming up, you could be looking at the end of his career the following year. I think he's only got 2 years left in Green Bay, and I think he'll get released at age 38. So I think he needs to prove he's among the best of all time by getting a second ring.
Gotcha. That's good. Be-Li, where you at on this?
I feel somewhat the same way Scottie D does, but I'm going to switch it around. I'm going to start with Aaron Rodgers because some of the points that Scottie D was making, that his passer rating was the third lowest that he's had. His completion percentage was the second lowest of his career, and yet they still made the NFC Championship. Here's one thing I want to point out. Last year, them not making it past the NFC Championship was not Aaron Rodgers' fault. The GM of the Green Bay Packers is an absolute idiot. Like, where was his talent? He had no talent around him. The reason why his passer rating and completion percentage was so low was, who was he throwing the ball to?
No question. I see your point on that. I agree.
So
as he's aging, though, and he's getting closer to the end of his career and only having that one ring, he's going to have to carry the team even more. I mean, that's kind of what he's done throughout the most of his career anyway. But
and I think I made it that far last year was because they finally developed a running game. So it's one of those things where there was a like, I don't understand Green Bay's thinking drafting a quarterback when the quarterback wasn't the issue last year. It was the lack of targets. So I don't.
Let's see. Who's his wide receiver? Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Kumaro, Lazard, Devontae Adams.
Exactly.
And then they James Lofton, Kenny Lofton, and then they ran into that buzzsaw known as the 49ers defense, and they got. I told when I was in Wisconsin, when I was in Milwaukee, I told somebody good. I said, I'm gonna tell you what, if you figure out how to stifle that running game and put a clamp on Devontae Adams, it's over with. And what happened?
That's exactly what happened. But yeah, so it's so Aaron Rodgers I don't see him having that much to prove. Like, it's not necessarily like people were trying to say that his job is on the line. They're doing the same thing they did before with Brett Favre. And I think Aaron Rodgers will have more to prove when he leaves the Green Bay Packers. And that will happen when you mention that that cap hit and everything. That's what they're gearing towards. They're going to save money, this and that, and blah, 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 and do all the things that general managers do. Tom, yeah.
So this is go ahead. So this is a do or die year for Aaron Rodgers. Go ahead, Tom. Be-Li.
Again, I don't think it's a do or die. I think the writing's in the sand already. Regardless of what he does, this is the move that they're going to make. They pretty much made that almost crystal clear. Aaron Rodgers sees it. Like, he's gonna play and he's gonna do, because that's just the pride within itself. But I don't think the pressure's on him to do something spectacular. He's going to do what Aaron Rodgers has done his entire career. He's been a bad man. Again, one Super Bowl ring, but you've ran into just like, the NFC has been ridiculously tougher to get through than the AFC. It's been the Patriots, and every now and again you sprinkle in a little Kansas City this year, Baltimore, a little sprinkle of who else? Yeah,
Pittsburgh,
maybe.
Yeah, but consider this too, though, B-Live. It was 10 years between Super Bowl wins, if I'm not mistaken, for Tom Brady. He had 3 early in his career and then didn't win another one for, I think it was a 10-year period. And this will be year 9 or 10, I think, for Aaron Rodgers since he's won his last one. So to escalate his name or to elevate his name into the top of all time, I think, he might need to win another ring. He doesn't have a lot of time left to do that.
Right. So, I mean, but yeah, I don't see the pressure being with him this year because, I mean, Green Bay, when they saw that they didn't have targets, they didn't have the offensive prowess that they thought they should, what's the first thing they do? They draft a quarterback. Who does that? But yeah. But so, and then I go to Tom Brady. Tom Brady, 6 Super Bowl rings, New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, the greatest duo coaching quarterback duo of all time. GOAT this, GOAT that, this, that, and the third. First ballot Hall of Famer. Everything you can say, Tom Brady is the GOAT. The question that everybody has, can Tom Brady do it without Bill Belichick? That's the question out there. And now with the wealth of talent that he has with Tampa Bay, and if for him not to do it, would it be necessarily devastating to his career? I don't think so. He's still going to be first ballot Hall of Famer. It will sort of put like a little point right there, be like, yeah, maybe you got 6. Bill Belichick, had a lot to do with that. You still had a lot to do with it.
He's the greatest of all time.
So that's why I'm like, I don't see that much pressure. There is pressure there because I know Tom Brady wants to do it. But at the end of the day, I agree with a lot of people when it comes to Cam Newton. Cam Newton does not have a ring. Cam Newton's also been in a situation similar to Green Bay where he has not been surrounded by that much talent. And by the time they actually put a little bit of talent around him, you saw a flash in the pan 2 years ago, the first 8 games of the season, having a Christian McCaffrey in the backfield and being able to hit DJ Moore. And you saw some of that cohesive. You saw a new Cam Newton. You saw more of a pocket passing Cam Newton. You saw his numbers go up, and then he got hit and got hurt. Now the number one question is not necessarily can he perform. It's the question is he healthy? That's the $1 million question. And if Cam Newton can go out and show that he's healthy and the Panthers just did him wrong, because that's where the most proof needs to be. And because Cam has been screaming it from high heaven that he's healthy, he's ready to go, and everybody just looked down on him and blah, 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 didn't give him a chance. So, I mean, he's talking a big game right now. And at the end of the day now is, can he actually perform? And now with the offensive mind scheme of Josh McDaniels and the evil genius Bill Belichick, Cam doesn't have much excuses to where he couldn't perform. So now it really comes on the body of his talent. And can he do it with New England? Now, once again, Cam Newton is not lined up with a bunch of offensive talent in New England.
Edelman.
And Sony Michel, and then James White, and then can you catch the ball? Can you run the ball? Good. You playing.
But yeah, so I think, again, Cam, to himself more than anything, has the most to prove. And then just basically saying, because this would be the ultimate FU to my beloved Panthers, like, bruh, why'd you give up on me? And so, I mean, you could see it in his interviews. You could see it on his posts on social media. Oh boy.
What did he say? What did you say, Scott?
His hair.
Doing it. Yes, doing it.
Cam's hair.
Yeah. Can't just. Yep, that's Cam Newton for you. But yeah, he has the most to prove because he still has. I mean, will he make it to his 40s being a quarterback like some of the others have been able to do? I don't see that, but he still, I would say, probably would have 5 more years of a good career in a good situation. But this could be the make or break. If he doesn't do it with New England this year, will another team give him a chance? And I'm not gonna. I don't think so.
No. Very valid points, gentlemen. Scottie D said Aaron Rodgers. Be Live, you said Cam Newton. Me, I'm kind of like Scottie D. I've wrestled with all three. I'm like, well, Aaron Rodgers with his issues and Green Bay's inability to. Actually, the front office inability to provide him with the adequate necessary weapons that he needs to flourish and have more than one ring. Because Aaron Rodgers should have no less than 3 rings as of right now. He should have no less than 3 rings because they should have destroyed the NFC when they had a chance. But you got teams like San Francisco on the rise. You got Tom Brady in the NFC. Drew Brees doing what he does. Even the Cardinals, and now with the acquisition of Jamal Adams, you got Seattle making some noise too. So now he has multiple roadblocks to get to the Super Bowl. He has to go through that.
Plus, the Cowboys are going to be undefeated this year. Go ahead, Eddie.
Boo.
As I was saying, and then speaking of Tom Brady, we got that situation with Tom Brady with him down there in Tampa Bay for the first time in forever. Tom Brady has weapons with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, a good coach in Bruce Arians, and so the main piece that was missing was a good quarterback. Despite the fact that Jameis Winston went 30 for 30 for 5,000 yards last season, goes to show, could it be a quarterback or could it be the system? But then again, like I said, Jameis Winston got his eyes fixed, so he ain't squinting no more. So we'll see what he does in New Orleans. So does Tom Brady have anything to prove? Just like Anthony Butler said, he can go 0 for 16 and have one of the worst years of his career. Whatever, you got 6 rings, you're a GOAT. You have nothing left to prove. You're just doing this to show that pretty much, you want to do something different. But deep down inside, you want to do this without Bill Belichick. I don't care what you say, Tom Brady. That's what it is. So, along with B Live, I'm gonna have to say Cam Newton, man, because before Cam got hurt, he was having an MVP type season, and once he got hurt, it just fell apart. The bottom just fell out. It rained. It got bad, real fast, real ugly, real quick in a hurry. It just hurt my heart to see him when he came to Cleveland, and they played the Browns when he was a member of the Panthers. Just how bad he looked. I'm like, this dude, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And so he's been working his behind off and having these interviews. Like, look, I'm ready. I'm here. I'm ready. And as you guys did mention, when it comes to the big names on offense that New England has, Cam is the big name. And so it'll be interesting to see what he does with, McDaniels as OC and Belichick at the head coaching position at the helm, if you will. The evil genius, B-Live's favorite, Bill Belichick. And I still remember when Scottie D had that fit when he was tripping his Cowboys, but I digress. We'll say that for the greatest hits package.
Right.
So Scottie D said Aaron Rodgers, B-Live said Cam Newton, and I said Cam Newton. And we say thank you for your participation in this week's version of the Choices of the Voices. It was a very good spirited edition, man. Very good spirited edition. Scottie D, what's the question for next week?
All right, next week we're going to stick with the NFL. Similarly, giving you a couple choices on this one. But as a fan, what running back scares you the most to face? Of these 3, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, or Derrick Henry?
Ugh.
3 stellar running backs. And I know I could add a bunch more to the list. Dalvin Cook, Zeke, you got Shaminga, Biakabatuka, all those guys out there.
Wow.
He went back for that one.
Appreciate the throwback.
I just like saying Shaminga, Biakabatuka. But we're just going to limit it to these 3 for our sake of discussion. As a fan, which of those running back scares you the most to go up against? McCaffrey, Barkley, or Derrick Henry? And that's what we're talking about next week on Choices of the Voices.
Shaminga Biakabatuka, also known as Tim, for those of you that can't say Shaminga. Ain't that hard. The T and the S's, But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Fellas, it's about time to get up out of here. But before we go home, guess what? We got a round of pepper, 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of sort of not really. We're here to educate, entertain, and just have fun. We got sports back. We got a lot to talk about. But I think before I fully get back into the whole sports deal, I'm going to do the continued tradition of this day in history until we get some more sports stuff going on. And on this day, in 1929, the Chicago Cardinals, who became the St. Louis, the Arizona, and the Phoenix Cardinals, they become the first team to train outside of their home state. So where did they train, guys? Somebody asked me, where did they go train?
Where are you going to train?
I'll tell you where they went. They went to good old Coldwater High School in Coldwater, Michigan. So the birds flew the coop and went to a place full of cold water. Over to you, Scottie D.
Man, Uncle Max used to tell me about that all the time. He remembers that back.
Oh, wow.
1929. Well, shout out to Uncle Max here.
We love you, man.
All right, so the PGA continued on this past weekend, and Michael Thompson was the winner of the 3M Open at the TPC Twin Cities in Minnesota. Michael Thompson's last PGA win before this was in 2013, the Honda Classic. It was like 2,700 days between wins. That's a long time to go. This guy gave an interview after where he was choked up. He was emotional. Really nice to see a good guy like that get a win. He just adopted a daughter back in the spring, and it's nice to see a guy like that. Now he's exempt for a couple years on the tour. So congratulations to Michael Thompson for his PGA victory this past Sunday. Be live, over to you.
All right. Scottie D, you were mentioning about running backs earlier when it comes to the next question of the choices of the voices. And I stumbled on a little situational going on in San Francisco because at one point in time, Raheem Mostert was saying, I'm trying to get out of here, bro. Trying to get some more money. Well, according to his agent, San Francisco said, come on, player. Stay with us. We're going to restructure some things, get you a little bit more money. So as of right now, it stands, Mostert due $2.575 million in base salary with a $300,000 bonus in 2020. And now he can also earn up to an additional $2.75 million in bonuses and incentives. So all in all, through and through, looks like he can earn around about $5.5 million in 2020. Now, here's a little kicker. Based on average annual value before this happened, Mostert was the 49ers' fourth highest paid running back. He behind Jerick McKinnon, Kyle, all consonants.
Yep.
You check.
Kyle, all consonants, and Tevin Coleman.
I'm keeping that in. I'm keeping it in.
But yeah, so Mostert looks like he'll be staying with the 49ers at least this year, and also he's due $2.875 million in 2021. And so we'll see how this year goes, because Mostert definitely bursted on the scene this year, especially after week 12. He led the NFL with 12 rushing touchdowns from week 12 through the end of the postseason, and his 760 rushing yards over that span, where it's the second most in the league, trailing only the aforementioned Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry, that had 1,154 yards from week 12 on, which is, man, that's a workhorse. Eddy Kool, the ball.
Scottie D, when you said 2,700 days in your first purple point,
yeah,
that's equivalent to 7 years, 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, 5 hours, 46 minutes, and 40 seconds. I had to do it. I had to do it. 5,2,100. Anyways, moving right along. Since there won't be any preseason football this year, let's take a trip back to 1991. And on this day, in 1991, the Buffalo Bills defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 17-13 in the American Bowl in Wembley. That's the UK, in case you're wondering. Over to you, Scottie D.
All right. Fight Island this past weekend saw Robert Whitaker win a unanimous decision over Darren Till. Whitaker was the middleweight champion who lost to Israel Adesanya back in September or back in October. Adesanya now will face Paulo Costa in September. Maybe Whitaker gets another shot at the winner of that one. That yet remains to be seen. The fight the other night wasn't that good, guys. I don't know if you watch it, but it was kind of a dance. It was not very impressive. However, Najera lost his split decision the other night to Mauricio Shogun Hua. That was his retirement fight. Time to retire when you get to a certain age there in the UFC. And what a good career for Najera. And sad to see him lose that one because I thought he might have pulled it out on the cards. But anyway, that was a wrap for Fight Island UFC. And they're heading back to the States here in a couple weeks. That's when we'll get Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic Part 3. B-Lab, over to you.
Well, I just want to use my pepper point to basically just catch up the world that you may or may not know that NBA is starting back on Friday, NHL is starting back on Saturday, and all the stories about how we can contain and continue to move forward with this. The biggest thing that I'm seeing more than anything is just how will this weekend go? How will we react to getting all these sports back, and how will Louwill go without having his lemon pepper barbecue wings? I'm sorry, I still can't get past that. That man mourned. He mourned the loss of his relative. I think it was either his dad or his granddad, because he did say "Rest easy, pops," and then he was like, "All right, you know what? I'm gonna get some wangs and see some things." But man, what the hell is wrong with you, Eddy Kool? The ball. I can't do it this.
Wangs and things and friends with phones that need to stay home. Hey, I made a rhyme. Hooty hoo. All right, so here we go. On this day in history, back in 1933, the NFL, the league, divides into two divisions with 5 teams each. The NFL West consisted of the Chicago Bears, the Portsmouth Spartans, the Green Bay Packers, the Cincinnati Reds, and the Chicago Cardinals. The NFC East consisted of the New York Football Giants, the Brooklyn Tigers, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Washington WTFs. Yeah, the team formerly known as the Washington Bleepity Bleeps. Scottie D, over to you. We ain't done with them yet, but over to you, Scottie D.
I think Uncle Max used to tell me about when that happened too.
Oh wow! I know you. Ooh boy,
guy, he gonna burn you up in them comments.
All right, my final point here in baseball news. Derek Holland, the new pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates, they just acquired him this offseason, was ejected in the 3rd inning on Sunday, arguing balls and strikes. Lane Thomas, the umpire, tossed him from the bleachers. He was sitting in the stands in left field. He was arguing balls and strikes and got tossed. The funny thing about this is that Derek Holland has not ever played for the Pittsburgh Pirates yet. So I don't know if that's a record, but it's got to be very significant that they acquired him, and before he ever got into a game, he's already has an ejection under his stats. That just goes to show you how things continue on for the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. Great first 2 games, guys. They looked like just hot garbage. And then on Sunday, and the only win they had in the first 3 games, they had a pitcher who never played for them get ejected from the stands. There you go. Congratulations to Derek Shelton, new manager of the Pirates, for his first win on Sunday. B-Lab, over to you.
What in the world of Neverockus is going on here?
Western Pennsylvania. All right. So I'm gonna finish this off because you know what, we've been recording now probably a little over an hour and 15 minutes, and you know what, we miss a very vital part of this show. We missed a very vital part, something that we've carried on the tradition through and through for many episodes, except for the ones that I'm not a part of. And
Dano?
you're absolutely correct.
Dano!
Yes.
I knew it.
Hashtag all roads lead to Dabo, and I got good, great, wonderful news. Because Clemson made headlines early when it came to this COVID-19 crisis and pandemic by a lot of reported cases. It ended up being around 47 student athletes and 6 staff members. As of 3 days ago, Clemson has no active positive COVID-19 cases among the athletes and the staff. People have healed up. They're ready. They're back at it. Clemson is ready to go. All roads. I bleed orange. We're all in, and we're healthy. Let's get.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We too shallow.
Yes, sir.
We too deep. Get it right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Get it right and get ready for number 7, because there's also talks between the ACC and the SEC about playing those rivalry games. So,
come on, baby.
Come on. You'll be walking here. You'll be limping back.
You'll be limping back.
Oh man, but yeah, that's how we do it.
Shaminga Biaka Batuka.
Yep, that's it. Everybody got their pepper points
sir.
in? All right. I know you noticed the title. We about to go home and say bye and go watch wrestling. But before we go, what in the hell is going on in Washington? The Washington football team, that's the best you got. Dan Snyder got all this money, and he can't buy no copyrights, can't get no trademarks, and you can't pay nobody to adequately name your team. What is it going to like on Madden this year?
I mean, how hard is it to name a team?
How hard is it?
It's wow.
You say, hey, let's be the Bulldogs. All in favor? Aye. All right, motion carried. We're the Bulldogs. Or something else like that. I mean, it can't be that hard.
Can't be that hard.
At the end, I know there's a lot of law, a lot of trademark law and stuff behind it and everything like that. But they took the easy, cheap, lazy way out with the football team. And
literally gonna be going, let's go team. Let's go team.
Fellas, I hope you saw me post. There's a meme out already where Ron Rivera is wearing a shirt, and on the back of it, it says team. New merchandise. Fire.
Let's see. Who are my football team fans? Shout out to Justin Ensminger,
Joe Gaff-
Twan Manning Pierce, Joe Gaffigan. Y'all team, yeah. Washington football team. They should have did club, or is that already taken?
It's a strong possibility that. FC is a lot of teams' names out there.
Okay, well, wait a minute. You got DC United, so they probably could have had it.
I'm pretty sure of it, because a lot of teams are FC, but that also refers to the world sport of football, soccer. But let me finish this off real quick, because this is true military fashion. Washington football team, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. What the dump button? All right, we're out.
Yeah. The Washington WTFs. I knew y'all saw the doggone name in the title. You know what? As soon as we find out the name, I say, that's it. I don't care what we say, what we do. That's the name of the damn show, and we're rolling with it. But speaking of rolling, we finna get the hell up out of here and watch some wrestling. Scottie D, where can they find you?
Find me in rainy Western Pennsylvania.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in the hour session we've been recording, we started out by we had no rain in Western Pennsylvania. And guess what? God said, gotcha. Holden.
Rain night in Pennsylvania. So check me out on Facebook, on my Facebook page, Scott Donnelly, or you can check us out on the Sports Radio Team. That's the name of we're going to be changing our names, the Sports Radio Team.
The SRT podcast. What in the absolute world is going on? All I'm gonna say is be live. When you get off this computer, just go straight to Monday Night Raw. Where can they find you?
They can find me in St. Louis. No, I couldn't help myself. But yeah, you know where you can find me. I'm still there doing my thing. Max Speed Shop, 42 North McPherson Church Road. Come check a brother out. Also, you can check me out on Facebook. My name is Brian Livingston. You can check me out on Facebook. Check out the Sports Bros Podcast on Facebook. You can check us out on Instagram, Sports Bros Podcast. On Twitter, Sports Bros PCast. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us at our website, the Sports Bros Podcast.wordpress.com. Eddy Kool has been coming with some leading sports stories. I mean, that is his area of expertise. Great writing, by the way. I love it, man, and definitely want to keep that pushing. If you have any questions, comments about the show, hit us up on our email, sportsbrospodcast@gmail.com. And you know what, man? Loving it. Keeping it going. And to our listeners, I know it's late into the podcast, but we need your recommendations. We want you to go to our Facebook like page and recommend us. I need 5 stars. I'm telling you right now. We come with some content. I know y'all be laughing about us at home. I don't know if you laughing with us or at us, but y'all laughing. You enjoy it. Give the bros some love. We need it. We need to get one review out of there because it just, I said it. It's just wrong. This just messed up my rating. I don't like it. So, hey, give us some love. Appreciate the recommendations, the reviews, and everything. We're trying to grow bigger, better for you. Thank you, the listener, our family, the Sports Bros family, from us here, the Sports Bros. Yes, sir.
Yep, and that leads up to me. You can find me at my house here in northeastern Ohio, because guess what? I ain't cutting the grass because the grass is wet as hell outside. I'm not about to do that. But all jokes aside, man, you can find me on all of the Sports Bros podcast platforms that B Live mentioned, from the Facebook to the Twitter to the Instagram to the WordPress. Hey, guess what? Read those articles, please, on WordPress, so that way you can help me get a real job. That way I can turn my hobby into a passion and make some profit off of it. But as you know, I do it all for the love of the game. And plus, it looks good on my resume, too, that I do this. But enough gloating about me. You can also check me out on Facebook, Eddy Kool, the Facebook profile. Cool Season, all one word, on Instagram. Super Cool 5000 on Snapchat, as if you do that. And, or just dive in them DMs and just say, hey, you got to say nothing else. Speaking of diving into the DMs, somebody dove into the Sports Bros DMs. I forgot their name. I think it was Andrew, if I'm not mistaken. He said, hey, I'm loving the podcast. I asked him, what did he like about it so much? He gave me no reply. But guess what, though? He said he liked it. So that means he listened. So shout out to you. Also, if you listen to us on Apple Podcast, give us a 5-star rating. Leave us a comment in the comment box. Give us a good review. Tell them B Live sent you. Saying It Never Rains in Western Pennsylvania. Pork chops and chunky. I don't care. It don't matter. Just show us some love. Anything else before we get the hell up out of here and watch the wrestling, fellas?
Thanks, everybody.
And if we're wrestling, don't get this fake eyeball storyline that they got going on right now. I don't know what to tell you.
I just can't wait for Impact Wrestling Tuesday night. They got some people coming back, and we watch wrestling too. But we're gonna have another episode of the Wrestle Bros coming up shortly. We don't know when, but we're gonna make it happen. And then closing, do something nice for yourself, and if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it. Now more than ever, have some sympathy. Wear a mask. Don't get on each other's nerves. Don't be on one of these Karen videos, because if I see you and I know you, I'm going to laugh at you. And with that being said, it's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Hide in the rain.
Sing it. Sing it.
Bah. I'm not enjoying this game right now because Tampa Bay, they got Fulton Nevitz out the game. Thank you. But he done left the mess. Come on, Tucson. I'm sorry, I digress again.
Let me make sure I got a dump button on deck because at any moment you're gonna pull a Scottie D that time when Mike McCarthy got hired. Scottie D, what you think about basketball being back?
Oh my God!
Told you. 3, 2, 1.
However, Antonio Rogerio
Whoa! Wow! Wait a minute.
Nojera Antonio.
3, 2. Antonio. Was it Antonio Rodrigo?
Nojera, yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so Nojera lost his split decision.